Just look down and read it. You got this.
On behalf of myself and my family, I would like to thank each and every one of you for coming here today, and for all of those who have sent messages and condolences. Your support and kindness has not gone unnoticed. Some of you dropped everything to be here for myself and my family during this terrible time in my life. And while there's no way for us to properly express how much that means to us, please know that we love you beyond all measure. My father was the hardest working man I've ever known, with a tireless work ethic to provide for our family. Dad, I thank you for instilling that in me. The father I knew expressed his love through music, food, and being present. Whether it be sharing a song, gifting you a CD of his new favorite music or artist, or arranging guitar lessons. He loved music in all of its forms, from playing guitar, singing a cappella, or enjoying a live concert. And just like his favorite Pink Floyd song, Dad, How We Wish You Were Here. When it came to food, he would get a container full of my favorite pizza next to this building in New York when I would come home and visit on leave. They would have the fridge stocked with all of my favorites. He would wake up early just to make the special ham and cheese sandwiches on the good bread. And if anybody needs to know the secret to a good sandwich, it's boar's head ham, thinly sliced. My dad was called a lot of things. He was known as Frankie, Dad, Private, Brennan, husband, brother, son, engineer. But being called Grandpa was the one he cherished most of all. It's often said that the greatest gift of being a good parent is to become a grandparent, and who would seem the best? I remember being little, and there was a strict policy of not getting up from the table until you had finished all your vegetables and everything on your plate. And believe me, there were times when I sat there for hours. Enter grandparenthood, and here he is, concocting Nutella and fluff sandwiches between two Eggo waffles, dressed with Hershey syrup and sprinkles. They had ice cream for dinner nights, and whatever you want for breakfast mornings. While I may be a little jealous that I got beets and Brussels sprouts, my kids got Grandpa Willy Wonka. And I wouldn't change a thing. During soccer, softball, football season, they all brought so much stuff it warranted a wagon to traipse all over. Oftentimes, they were like Oprah. You get a water, you get a Gatorade, you get a snack. My dad was known to Grandpa to all. He knew the names of every player on every team and cheered them on equally as if they were his own family. There aren't enough words to describe his unending love for us as a family. Thank you for teaching me life lessons, making the best of any situation, doing the tough work, and always standing up for what's right. So today, we are celebrating you, Frank Brennan, the best dad, the best grandpa we could have. So please, turn up the volume on that next favorite song, put an extra scoop of ice cream in that bowl, and if you find it in your heart, to please root for the Jets to win the 2022 Super Bowl.
When one reaches a certain age, I found myself writing more notes of condolences. And what I would frequently write to somebody was, may the memories of your loved one cherish you. And so, I'll try to get through this too. Memories. First, a memory of Frank and his oldest granddaughter, Autumn. When Autumn was fairly young, Frank and Ellie came to visit me on this snow-covered day at our home in New Jersey. It was cold, but we would ultimately venture outside to pull Autumn along in a small plastic sled so she could have this northeast cold experience. But not until Grandma, Grandpa, and Uncle Jim went to get Autumn boots. Sneakers were not going to cut it on that cold day. A second Frank Autumn memory was a holiday trip to New York City to capture some of the beauty of the Christmas season. We found ourselves behind the New York Public Library at the seasonal ice skating rink in Bryant Park. Frank wanted to give Autumn a nice holiday experience, so the two of them got out on the ice while Frank tried to teach Autumn to skate, or at least to keep her from falling. In 2004, we found ourselves going on a summer vacation to the Poconos. The house we rented was on a small lake. Frank must have promised Autumn that we would go fishing, as Autumn had her Barbie fishing pole at the ready. Before a few minutes went by, Autumn was reeling them in, as the saying goes, with her proud grandpa with her in the rowboat. Frank delighted in telling this story how young Alyssa was giving directions to a nearby Santee location. I don't remember the destination. What I do remember is Frank saying how Alyssa said, "Grandpa, you go to the place with the big K and you turn here." The big K was, I believe, Circle K. But Grandpa delighted the way young Alyssa got her point across. Not to be outdone by his younger sister, Frank took great pride how a young Brian turned around and engaged in a fluid conversation, unfortunately or not, depending on your political persuasion, at a Dodger game in Dodger Stadium. And he was really proud. The theme of these memories is that Frank gave himself because he wanted to create special memories for his daughter, his wife, and his grandchildren. Frank and Ellie were married for 51 years. I hope I did my math, otherwise they'll kick me out of the Mercury to the CPAs. But one memory stands out. When Ellie was turning 50, Frank arranged for a surprise birthday party at Moran's, a family favorite in New York City, which sadly is no longer in business. But the ruse, the creativity behind the brilliant mind, was a wedding for one of his co-workers. Don't ask me why I remember this, but I think it was the Ramo Stern wedding. Ellie came in and wondered, why are all her friends and family and everybody, why are they here at this wedding? I know that we are limited by time, but I will close with one final example of Frank's nature. And that was that he wanted to drive Denise's car from New York to San Diego as she started a new life here. He wanted to spare the cost of the trip, while shipping it, and express his love. Frank's better angels made him a bit of a guardian angel to those he met and loved. He was kind and generous, and always tried to create a special memory for his younger siblings, his wife, daughter, and grandchildren. May his soul now rest in peace among the honored dead, and may his memory live in Ellie, Denise, Autumn, Brian, and Alyssa, indeed, in all of us.
Is there anybody else that would like to share something about Frank? When you get old, you wobble like a weevil, you know? And if I fall down, I'll be one of those proverbial turtles that don't get up. Anyway, this is going to conclude our committal service for Frank Brennan. I want to thank the United States Army for running the appropriate military honors that he so rightly deserved. On behalf of the staff of El Cajon Mortuary, Vanessa, Sophia, myself, to Frank's family, our deepest condolences on the loss of your loved one. To the friends of Frank's family in Eleanor, thank you for showing your love and support to them during their time of need. And again, this is going to conclude our service. And I know Frank met my wife up there, and she said, "Hey, there's my husband. He's doing your service for you."
Yes, exactly.
So, again, our deepest condolences. I want to thank everybody for coming.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So it's an honor to
Thank you. Thank you. Oh my God.